Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you guys how to blend your makeup flawlessly. Let's get into it. Caught me at the right time, baby. Oh, I was at the end. Made me feel like that. I'm going to start off with concealing my brows. I'm using the Kevyn Aucoin Sensual Skin Enhancer in the shade SX12. I'm going to use my small Morphe brush. I'm going ahead to blend out the concealer under my brows. This concealer dries down fast, so I want to work with it fast. I'm using the Real Techniques Deluxe Crease brush to buff out the concealer to make sure it doesn't get too dry and then get patchy when I try to blend it out. For primer today, I'm using the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. I'm gonna rub that into my skin and make sure that it's really absorbed. To get a flawless base, you want to make sure you are using a good primer and you're making sure that you are blending it into your skin so that when you apply your foundation, it applies flawlessly. For foundation, I'm using the Huda Beauty foundation in the shade Cinnamon. I went in with a pump and a half and I am spreading it across my face. I'm spreading it as evenly as possible with my Evita Joseph brush. I'm going ahead to blend the foundation into my skin with the Morphe M439 brush. I'm using soft patting motions to blend the foundation evenly into my skin, just to make sure that I have an even coverage and to make sure it looks as seamless as possible. For concealer, I'm going in with the Huda Beauty Overachiever Concealer in the shade Toasted Almond. I'm going to put that into the innermost corners of the areas under my eyes. I'm going into with a second concealer, which is the Too Faced Born This Way Concealer in the shade Butterscotch. I'm going to put that onto my under eye area as well, but I'm just using it underneath the Overachiever Concealer from Huda I used earlier. I'm going over my forehead, the bridge of my nose, and my chin, of course. I'm going to let that sit while I apply my contour product, which is from Juvia's Place. This is the Stick Foundation. I'm putting that onto my forehead and my cheekbones, and I am blending it out with my Morphe Bullet brush, which is the M537 brush. I'm blending it into my hairline, and for my cheekbones, I'm going to blend it upwards. This is going to make sure that the product doesn't move so much, and it's going to, help the structure of my face. If you put your contour products like right into the hollows of your cheekbones and you end up blending it upwards, it's going to drag your face down. I just put the remaining product on my jawline, just cause if I go in with the product directly onto my jawline, it just ends up looking muddy. For my concealer, I'm going ahead to blend it out with a damp beauty blender. I'm just using soft patting motions and I am blending out the concealer as seamlessly as possible. I'm gonna blend what's on my face, which is my chin, my mustache area and my forehead first before going ahead to blend what's under my eyes, just cause there's a lot of concealer there and I don't want to transfer too much concealer onto my face. So I blend out all the areas on my face before I go under my eyes. Also, the lighter concealer is under my eyes and I want to keep it that way so that I have a bright under eye. So yeah, I'm using the same beauty blender and I'm just using soft tapping motions. You don't want to drag the beauty blender, you just want to keep tapping the product into your skin. I'm also going over my eyes with the same concealer. Mind you, I didn't go in with extra concealer. I'm just using what I applied onto my face to conceal my eyes. That's what I like to do as of lately, just because I feel like going in with concealer on your face and then going in with another concealer on your eyelids is just too much. So I just use the same concealer just to conceal my eyelids. And I'm going back in with my foundation brush just to blend out the edges. I realized that when I do this, it just looks really seamless. And yeah, I just use the same patting motions that I used earlier just to make sure that I'm not dragging the products off my skin. I'm just evening it out. I'm going back in with the brush that I used to apply my contour products just to make sure that the contour is still there. Mind you, I didn't go in with any extra products. I just went in with the brushes that I used earlier. So the key to getting a flawless base is to keep going back and forth with the brushes that you used, not extra products, just the brushes that you used, so that you're able to blend out your base evenly and seamlessly so that it ends up looking as flawless as ever. So I'm going back in with my sponge. I just did some ironing out of my creases and I'm going back in to set with my Laura Mercier translucent honey setting powder. You saw that I used my beauty blender to iron out any creases. That's what you have to do, especially if you crease like me. You want to blend out the concealer before you set it, otherwise you're going to end up setting creases. And you want to push the powder, just the light layer, onto the areas that you applied your lighter concealer, just to make sure that you are setting the product. You don't want to go back in and bake as soon as you apply concealer. That's just going to make you look a little bit ashy and you're going to look cakey. You want to end up putting the powder into your concealer and setting it before you go ahead and bake, if you still want to bake. For the rest of my face, I'm going to use the LA Pro face powder in the shade Classic Tan, and I'm going to go in with my Zoeva face finish brush. I'm going to push a light layer of the powder all over my face, except the areas that I used, my setting powder. I'm just going to make sure that I am setting any creams on my face because I have oily skin, so I make sure to use a powder after any cream or liquid to make sure that the product is set on my face. I'm gonna go ahead and apply my Sunstalker bronzer from Fenty Beauty in the shade Coconutty. I'm applying that over the areas that I applied my cream contour, just to make sure that I am setting that area as well. Even though in theory we set that area already, I'm just intensifying the cream contour that I applied earlier. I'm using my angled brush from Morphe. This is the Morphe E4 brush. I'm just patting the bronzer into my skin, the high points of my cheekbones or the hollows of my cheekbones, my hairline and my jawline. I'm also going to go ahead and contour my nose with my Morphe E64 angled nose brush. I'm just contouring the sides of the bridge of my nose, and I'm bringing it up into my eyebrows just to make it look a little bit more seamless. And I'm using the same bronzer that I used to bronze my face, which is the Fenty bronzer. I'm going back in with my Laura Mercier powder to clean up my nose contour and to push a little bit of powder under my eyes, because you know we bake over here. I'm gonna be applying a little bit of eyeshadow, so I want to bake, and baking just makes my makeup look really seamless. Baking works if you do it the right way, which is setting the cream products before going ahead to put on the powder under your eyes or wherever else you want to bake. So yeah, if you're gonna bake, you need to set before you apply more powder. You don't want to bake into the cream or liquid products right away. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill in my brows with my Evita Joseph Espet brow liner in the shade Rich Espresso. For eyeshadow, I'm going in with that light pink color. I'm gonna spread that all over my eyelids. I didn't want to go in with a bronzer just because I felt like it was gonna be a little bit boring, so I went in with that light color, and I'm just spreading that onto my eyelids. I'm also going ahead to create a tiny wing with my e.l.f. liquid liner. I went ahead to apply my lashes off camera, and I'm just tight lining my eyes, and I'm going ahead with the color that I put onto my eyelids. I'm just using that to smoke out my bottom lash line. Now the key to getting a flawless base after you bake is to go back in with your powder brush and just blend the powder very lightly into your skin, as I am doing. And this is very optional. I like to go in with a light powder, and I'm using my setting brush from Real Techniques. I'm using that powder to, you know, blend out the excess powder under my eyes. This just gives me a really flawless under eye area. And yeah, so that's what I showed you guys. I'm also going ahead to apply my blush. I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury blush, and I am applying that with my Real Techniques blush brush. For setting spray, I'm using one from Huda Beauty. This is the Resting Boss Face Setting Spray. I don't use this very often because it's very strong. And yeah, so once you apply your setting spray, you want to go ahead and use the butt of your beauty blender and to push the setting spray into your skin to make sure that your face is set and looking really seamless. I really love how this whole look came together. It's super effortless and just really seamless. You just need to blend very well so that your skin looks so flawless. For mascara, I'm going ahead to apply one from Huda Beauty. This is the Legit Lashes. I'm putting that onto my lower lash line so that they look a little bit better because I felt like they were a little bit naked. I'm gonna go ahead and line my lips with my Fenty Beauty liquid lipstick in the shade Unveil. I often go with a dark pencil just to overline my lips slightly. I'm going ahead to apply my highlighter. I'm using the Laura Mercier Honey Star powder and I'm applying that with my Morphe M506 brush. I'm using this tiny brush to apply highlighter into my inner corners, brow bones, and the bridge of my nose as well as the tip of my nose. For the high points of my face, I'm applying it with my M451 Detailer highlighter brush from Morphe. This brush just applies the highlighter very seamless. You don't want to use a very dense brush to apply highlighter, otherwise it's gonna look really messy. And for my lips, I'm using my Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb Cream in the shade Fenty Glow. I love how this lip came together. So yeah, that's the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. This is how flawless the skin looks. Don't forget to blend and subscribe to my channel if you haven't liked this video. If you enjoyed it, I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.
This tight, pull up the skirt, get in the right. Left hand is steering, the other is moving your night. Light up a spliff and get high. Shawty, you deserve what you've been missing. Looking at you, I'm thinking he must be tripping. Play this song for me.